Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to talk about something that's kind of buzzing around in the Second Amendment community rumor mill right now, and that is whether Glock is going to be producing a carbine finally, or carbine. I call it carbine. Some people call it carbine. Let's just call the whole thing off, I guess. Old reference. But let's talk about that today. Is Glock about to produce a carbine? Well, maybe. A lot of people have started speculating that they're going to produce a carbine now because of some patents they have filed for, like I said, a carbine rifle. Now, this is nothing new. They've done this before in the past. They've filed patents for different things. This time it's a little more specific, I guess. An adjustable gas system, things like that they've filed patents for. Lots of stuff out on the internet right now about that. And I want to talk about, does this mean they're going to produce, actually, like I said before, one of the carbines? And like I said, it means maybe. Companies do stuff like this from time to time. They design new products that they then patent, but then never make. Like I said, Glock's done this in the past. Is this just another example of that? Could be. Could just be something they patent, have no intention of making. This could just be like the Glock 1911 everyone talks about every April 1st. Everybody talks about, Glock's going to make a 1911, Glock's going to make a 1911, and it's always an April Fool's joke. This could be similar to that. But I think it's more likely just it's a company going through the normal business of patenting things that they might never make, like I said already. But I also want to say they might make it. Because here's the reality right now of Glock and a lot of other gun makers. They are worried about their futures because the market we have now is unsustainable. We got a little taste of what the future is for the gun community back under like the first year of the Trump administration when we were coming off of another fear-based market and things started to adjust. And gun sales didn't do well. In fact, Glock lost over 1/3 of their business in 1 year. They dropped 36% in 1 year, the first year of the Trump administration. 36% decline in sales. That's not good for any company, period. Now, we've seen an increase in sales recently, what with the panic buying through last summer and going into this summer. And those numbers are good, and they've made them rise, remarkable rises in sales. But mainly because they were starting off from such low numbers where they were in danger to what they're at now. But here's the thing, the market knows that's not sustainable either. The market we have right now isn't based on innovation or a positive change in the market. It's based on fear and it's based on panic. And unfortunately, when that happens, eventually fear can only be sustained so long. Panic can only be sustained so long. And then when it fades, not only do manufacturers have to face the fact that, now this demand that we may or may not have ramped up to try to meet has dropped off drastically. So our sales are going to go down. And not only that, not only are our sales going to drop because of that, all this stuff that flooded into the market during the panic, which is one of the reasons why manufacturers don't really want to increase production during a panic, is going to flood back into the secondary market at discounts and hurt their sales even more at a time when they're having a natural decline and they could go out of business. So a lot of companies right now are worried about their futures. Even though sales are up, stocks aren't doing great. I own stock in Ruger, Smith & Wesson, and another one. Glock is still privately owned, but they're not doing great. The stocks aren't going gangbusters, even though sales are through the roof. You would think that they'd be going great, but they're not. So Glock might be thinking, we got to get some market share somewhere. Because you got to remember, every time there's a new polymer gun from someone, from Ruger, from CZ, from, Smith & Wesson, anytime someone produces a polymer carry gun, that's pretty much another nick out of Glock's market. Now, when it first started happening, when other companies first started making polymer guns, it was pretty much solely a dig off of Glock's sales. Smith & Wesson pretty much cannibalized sales with their MPs from Glock only. That was the only big competition. But then, other manufacturers started making guns, and a lot of those come from Glock because people who are like, I'm not leaving Glock for Smith & Wesson said, maybe I might leave Glock for CZ. More so than would say, I'm switching from Smith & Wesson to CZ. It tended to affect Glock more than any other polymer maker because that's their only market. Smith & Wesson has other markets, revolvers, long guns, blah, blah, blah. Glock just has the polymer market. So every time there's a new polymer gun that takes a chunk out of their sales, they have to worry about that. So Gaston has always said, doesn't want to make anything other than what he makes, doesn't want to make long guns, doesn't want to do this. So as long as he's alive, it might not happen unless, of course, they need the money. And right now, I think a lot of companies are looking at things they need to do to broaden their appeal to customers and broaden their market. Now, am I excited about the Glock Carbine? No. How is it going to be any better than a Smith & Wesson one or a Ruger one or H&K or Sig or any of those? I'd be probably more excited if this design was for something more along the lines of a pistol caliber compact carbine or maybe a bullpup or something. Then I'd be more excited because it'd be something I think a little different. But from what I'm seeing, just looks very similar to everything else we already have options for. So it doesn't seem like it's going to revolutionize the market. All it would do is drag a little bit of the sales from other manufacturers that make carbines now over to Glock to replace some of the money they're losing in polymer gun sales to these other companies. They just kind of steal some of their customers back. Are they going to do it, like I said, which was supposed to be the whole point of this conversation, not a market analysis? They might, simply because there's hard times coming for gun companies. We might see a large reduction in the number of manufacturers that are out there right now. And that was my ankle popping. Sorry about that. But if that showed up on camera. So we might see a reduction. You might see a lot of these boutique makers going out of business in 5 to 10 years because the market is going to slump. And then the secondary market is going to go up because all this panic bought stuff is going to be put back out onto the market. It's going to happen. So it's something we got to look forward to. So Glock might be trying to plan for that, might be trying to get a little extra income, might be trying to broaden their base, or then again, they might just be trying to make customers happy. So they might make it. Or it just might be something that is normal business for a company, and then they might never make it, at least not as long as Gaston is alive. So right now, even though there are patents, that isn't a guarantee it's coming because there have been patents before. But in this market, like I said, they might want to start thinking about the future. They might want to start diversifying. And right now, they might be planning for what they need to do once Gaston is gone. All right, everybody, I want to take a little break here in the middle of the show and talk some business. If you are someone who donates to our fundraisers for animal charities or just donates through Patreon, etc., I ran into a little problem with one of the mailings not too long ago. The post office lost a complete mailing of pins. Like 100 and something pins, lost every one of them. Never even made it into the system. I dropped off the box, disappeared. So I had to reorder those because I didn't have enough to make up the difference. Well, they have come in. The gold canine pins, the gold colored canine pins, they're not real gold, from 2020 are back in stock now. So if you're due a patch like the one on my hat and a gold pin, they're going to be sent out here in the next week. And it's not just the gold ones that came in. I also want to show everyone we got the new ones for 2021. And this is the new pin right here in my right hand. This is the 2021 TYMP K9 Unit Deputy Badge pin. It is in silver now. That is one of the main things that differentiates it between the older gold one, which is in antique gold. This one is in polished silver, and it says 2021 on it. If you are a pin level member on Patreon, this is the pin you'll be getting for this year. If you wanted one of the 2020s, too late. Now you'll have to get the 2021s. I'm sure that I might do something in the future to get some of the 2021s because I do have some left over from that reorder. But for right now, they are gone, and this is the new pin. So if you're due one of the old ones with a patch, that'll be coming within the next week. If you sign up and you're due one of the pins from Patreon, etc. for this year, you'll be getting the silver ones, and those will be coming to you as they are required or as it is set to do so. All right, everybody, I want to end the show today with a new segment which celebrates adoption of pets and those out there in the gun community that adopt their pets. I think gun owners are some of the most loving and caring people when it comes to animals. I know a lot of people might think that sounds weird because we're all supposed to be bloodthirsty monsters, but I think a lot of gun owners like animals more than they like people. I know I do. So I want to do this segment where I show a pet who has found their forever home with one of our members of the gun community. And today we are showing Siegfried. Siegfried is, I don't know what Siegfried is. He didn't tell me. He's a little muddish looking. Looks like there could be some corgi in there, maybe some herding dog. You know, there could be a lot of things in here, but Siegfried is obviously one thing, owned by a nerd, because who other than a nerd would actually name their dog Siegfried? Unless he's like Norse, maybe he's a Viking or something, I don't know. But I bet he's a nerd, because also I think from something that was said in his things that he might be a physicist, and I've never met a physicist that wasn't a nerd. So, nerd or not, I want to point out here that he did adopt a pet. His name was Rich G. That's, by the way, I forgot to mention his name. That's the nerd in question, or whether he's a nerd or not's in question, I guess. I don't even know if that's in question. But if you name your dog Siegfried and you're a physicist, come on, own it. But there's Siegfried, who was adopted by Rich G. Just wanted to show him today as our very first pet adoption of the day. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to sign off by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, you know, it is what it is. But what it will be in the future, if we continue to ignore the fear mongers and the profiteers, the people that want to manipulate us through anger and fear and want to profit off of us, if we ignore those people, what things will be in the very near future for those of us in the Second Amendment community and those of us that care about freedom, what it will be is better.